Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest DizPod. Coming up on this DizPod, how to Diz properly. We have a character spotlight featuring Pooh, and I trust me, there's going to be plenty of things that you did not realize with those details. And also, we do a deep dive with the Art of Animation Resort. Let's do this. Welcome, everyone, to this week's DizPod. I'm going to bring my guy in right away because he needs to remind me. Episode 9, episode 10. What have we done together?
Episode 9.
Episode 9. We go into double digits next week. How about that?
Fantastic.
Yes. Thank you so much for stepping in for me last week as far as, I think you're in the chat quite often. I assume we haven't even had a chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
So we went non-live. We went recording last week, and I want to thank everyone for participating. And we're watching those numbers. You know, how does live compare to recorded as a premiere? I think it was kind of the same, wasn't it? Or maybe
it was about the same. So they're steady. I like it. They're steady.
Yeah, but I think we like the live interaction with chat.
100%. I've just, when we were ramping up to the whole afternoon, I'm like, okay, we're almost there. 2 hours to go, an hour to go. We're going live. Yeah, it just feels different.
Yeah, for sure. And around here, I don't know about you at your house, but it's crazy around here, like a real studio. Like, it's chaos getting set up with minutes to go, sitting down, getting all your papers in front of you. It's like a total production.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, wardrobe, well, not our wardrobe that we like, but this shirt was just delivered about 20 minutes before we went on the air.
See, that's show business right there. That is show business. Is that shout out to Amazon or someone else?
Etsy.
You're crazy FedEx guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this was Etsy. This was an Etsy find.
Yeah. I think that we're seeing what Disney offers for Hawaiian shirts. We're seeing the pricing, but we're starting to discover some websites here that you can get things for half the price.
Yes.
So I did order something the other day on shishow.com. Never heard of it. Instagram had directed me to this. It was an ad that popped up. It's an amazing shirt. I don't even know when it comes in, but I will wear it for next week. So it'll be a surprise for everybody.
Nice.
I hinted a little bit at it last night on the live stream when I was out at Magic Kingdom as to what the theming of it might be. And it is one of my favorite shirts, and I don't even have it yet. So yeah, but you've been busy. I've been busy. Lawrence and I have literally not even spoken till 2 weeks ago when we signed up on the last live podcast.
Yeah, that is rare. Especially in the last 10 weeks or so, that is definitely rare. So it feels weird not to have talked to my buddy in almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried. I'm like, I got to reach out because I hope everything's okay on his end, because man, we were just going about our business. So yeah, but life is always busy for most people, and definitely I hold up my end of the bargain on that. So tonight, we're going to cover some things. How to Diz is what we're calling it. And it's just, I want to touch a little bit more on details on how to plan a Disney trip. And of course, if you just have no idea, the easiest thing is to check our description below and check out Claudia Inderson. She is amazing. I've had a lot of one-on-one phone calls with her, and just about anything, life. And she's really cool. And we're going to get to meet her live as she comes to the parks with us.
Nice.
I don't know if she'll spend a ton of time with us, but y'all will get to meet her for a short time, maybe on one of the evenings. So that'll be fun. And we'll touch on the character spotlight tonight. I instead of just doing like straight up, information on a character, I wanted to reach a little bit beyond that and just go beyond it and really come up with many bullet points that I know nobody is going to know. I mean, at what I'm looking at here, if anybody knows even 3 of these, I'm going to be flabbergasted.
Well,
And we'll
I
talk.
like obscure facts, so
Okay.
you can
Yeah,
hit us with some obscure facts.
you'll have to let me know. Yes. Maria says, are you planning to go to Disney Paris? First of all, hello, chat. We see all of you. And I know I'm amazing in the parks addressing all of you, but, the podcast is different. So, we see what your comments are. Keep commenting away. And we'll definitely mention some of your comments as we go along. What's up, Theo, Sam Eagle, and Green Giant, and Pamela, Maria, Purple Pleasures in the house. And Gilnack, I'm wearing the latest Hawaiian shirt that I have. So for anybody listening at home, if you're new at this, whatever, Lawrence and I are going to wear an original Hawaiian shirt until we run out. And then we'll get more along the way, but we may start repeating for sure. Today I have my wonderful Oswald shirt that is new out in Disney parks. Fairly new. I mean, when did this collection come out? Was it like November of 2022?
I was thinking January. Maybe it was November, yeah.
It was. My timeline is horrible. So, and we always show a featured Magic Band, mug, and if I remember at the end, I will show you the Disney shirt that is underneath a Disney shirt. Did I say that right? Yep. And I have a matching Magic Band right here. It's Oswald. So it totally matches the shirt. And tonight I am sipping from, this is one of the cool, unique mugs I have right there. This is Stitch, and it's like he's cut off horizontally at the nose. No eyes, no top of his head. And it allows you for a shorter, smaller cup of coffee or drink. And on the back, it says Stitch. So one of my favorites. And they do have a Cheshire cat. I did get that from my mom. Are you sporting a mug today?
I am. It is the 100 Years of Wonder.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did that one find me? Is that available in the parks?
No. I can't even tell you where I got this one. I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
But if I remember, I'll let you know. But yeah.
Well,
and of course, it has the different color on the inside. Doesn't have anything on the handle, so I'll cover that up because I know you don't like that.
I was trying to bite my lip. It's a lot of qualifications. But again, you pulled through with a beautiful, beautiful print. That's a nice print.
Yeah, this is really nice. They're going to the beach, going surfing. So I like this one. Nice and soft too.
I like Goofy's attire on that shirt. Doesn't it look like, it reminds me of when we met Goofy at Cape May for breakfast?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that was a good time.
Oh, we had a great time. I don't regret not streaming it, but the characters were so great. It would have been fun for the stream to see, especially for the one thing, though, when Goofy ran across the restaurant and told me to follow him. So yeah. Jake, Jill, and I ran across the restaurant with Goofy. The cast members stopped like, whoa, what's going on? And they're like, oh, they ran over with Goofy. I guess it's okay. Yeah. So, so let's get started, I guess. We are going to get started with how to Diz properly. And I'll read a bullet point and then we can expand on it. And we'll go from there. So planning a Disney trip can be a lot of fun, but also a bit overwhelming. There are a lot of things to consider, a lot of things. So, you got to figure out when to go, where to stay, what to do when you're there. You have to make reservations to go along with what you have planned for that day, for that week. So I have a few steps we can get started with. Step number 1 is to decide when you want to go. When you have to consider school, maybe work schedules, as well as crowd levels, cost, because it depends on when you go throughout the year. People may not realize this, but Disney park tickets vary throughout from week to week, day to day.
Day to day. Yep.
And you also have to factor in things like, are there special events going on? I know that when Tammy and I used to come in vacation, we were taken by surprise a few times by special events. We're at Magic Kingdom. We're thinking we're going to be there till 11, midnight. And all of a sudden they close the park at 6. And it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And then you have a lot of unhappy campers like we were because we have to leave the park where we dedicated a whole day and night to that. And now, you feel like you're slighted by not being able to complete your entire day and night there. So you have to be conscious of those things. A lot of people are sensitive to weather, so you certainly don't want to come in the dead of summer when it's super hot. Right now, again, today we reached over 100 again. It's been really, really hot. It's been crazy. You could talk about a crowd calendar, but at the same time, I don't really know if a crowd calendar works anymore.
You used to be able to really count on them, and I think since the parks reopened, well, I guess after the parks reopened, about 2021, the crowd calendars are not as accurate as they used to be, because it was just, everybody had that revenge travel going on. So maybe, next year they'll start to be a little bit more reliable.
Yeah, I mean, things have really changed over the last few years. So, and it just, there was a point where we wondered, okay, COVID hit, and then the parks reopened. Then it was limited capacity. It would almost be fun for any of us to go back and look at our streams from 2020, from like August, maybe September. I feel like doing that. And you go back and look at the crowds.
Mm-hmm.
We've forgotten already how low those crowds were.
Yeah.
But what was deceiving with that? The lines looked longer because you had to do 6 feet apart. So that was a little deceiving, But, so I think that.
I remember waiting for Navi River Journey, and the line basically went all the way back to Flight of Passage. And then the line for Flight of Passage went, I don't even know where it went. But yeah, with the 6 feet apart, it certainly made the lines feel much, much longer.
Yeah. So I see in chat, today was the day that Haunted Mansion reopened, and Goofy Guy is saying that the walkway belts have changed, but no Hatbox Ghost yet.
Yeah, I had heard that the Hatbox wasn't there yet.
Maybe I'll have to go on a rant at the end of this thing. I have issues with this. I really do. The next step is to determine how you will get to Disney. You can fly, you can drive, you can fly, you can drive, you can fly, depending on your location and preference. If you fly, you can, now this is a little bit of older information, so I have to substitute it. You can fly, and then it says you can use the Disney's Magical Express. Now it's Mears, right? Mears bus, but you have to pay for that. It's not free.
You do. I think right now it's $15 per adult one way and $12 for a child one way.
Okay. And if you says if you drive, you can drive and you can park at the resort. Now, a little while ago, they were charging to park, right? And that's gone away now.
That has gone away now. That's they have eliminated that, so that's good. One less thing. The problem with that was you pay per day to park your car, and if you're there 6-7 days, but yet you're taking Disney transportation to the parks, you're basically paying a parking fee for your vehicle to sit there for 6 or 7 days and not move. So that's why we had started to fly more, and then just take Mears, which drops you off right at the front of the resort, and then you take Disney transportation.
Yeah, for sure. Jillian was distracting me in the chat. She wants to bring me a tater tot. We're live. Yeah, Jill goes a different direction. She goes homeschool, so she's signing up for a new program, a different program. So we're taking care of that after this. So let's see. Let's go to the next step. So next step is third step. We're right on the third step. So third step is to choose where you want to stay. Disney World has over 25. This says 25 resorts. I thought there were 22. But
I thought it was 21.
What is the chat?
We're pros, we know.
We're pros. We're just trying to stay in all of them. We can't really count them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to take into account the different theming. There's all kinds of theming, which is what we go over. There's different amenities depending on the level in which you go, and certainly different pricing that goes along with all of that. And you can also stay at a non-Disney hotel near property if you're looking to save money. But you'll miss out on some of the benefits that come with staying on resorts, in the resorts, like early park entry is one. The free transportation. Says magic bands. Yeah, do you not get a magic band if
you no longer get the magic bands for the resort stays. They used to be free. Now you get a discount, so it's basically $10 off the cost of a magic band.
So they charge you if you're staying on a non-Disney resort, or are you paying for it anyway?
You're paying for it anyway. Yeah, but you get a little discount if you're staying at a Disney resort. So $10 off.
Oh, okay. This is good. This is good back and forth for you and I, because we're in two different positions. You know, I'm an AP who lives here, and you're still experiencing the things I can't answer.
Yeah,
with things like this point.
Yeah, and let me say that, you know, most humans don't need over 100 magic bands. So you could do with just one. You don't have to be like Corey and have 100, and just reuse your same magic band.
Neil said to me the other night in the parks, you only need one. You need 101 is what you need. The fourth step is to buy your park tickets. You need to decide how many days that you want to visit the parks, and whether you want to add options like the park hopper or water park access. And you can buy your tickets online or at the gate. But I cannot even imagine buying tickets as you show up to Disney. Has anyone in chat ever bought a ticket to Magic Kingdom or any of the other parks on that day? Like, let me go buy the park ticket because I'm at Six Flags.
You know, it's funny, like, because you go through security, and then you have the ticket windows there. And, our first time as a family going to Disney was after the parks reopened, which means you needed the reservation system. And I was thinking, like, why are these windows? Why is anybody at this window? You're not buying a ticket today to get into the park today, because it just wasn't available, especially back then. So it always seemed funny to me that there were people standing there, but I guess they were doing other things, maybe, adding park hopper or something like that.
Yeah.
But to me, that's the biggest thing, is adding park hopper, deciding if you're going to stay at a park all day or if you like to park hop. Of course, as annual pass holders, we don't have to worry about that because it comes with ours. But when we weren't pass holders, we would, for the most part, just do one park per day, just to save the extra money.
Yeah, I honestly have to say, I don't think we ever park hopped once. And this worked, the last time we went on a Disney vacation, I mean, we've been living here for 7 years now, so I have to jump back and say about between 8 and 9 years is the last time we went. And I'm pretty sure we never, ever park hopped. And I'm just wondering if that was part of the conversation when we planned it. Like, okay, it's extra money to park hop. Do you want to do that? And we probably said, no, we'll save a little money and we'll just stay in one park, because there's plenty to do for vacationers to just stay put. I don't think park hopping is for the newbies, right? I mean, you really want to,
especially the people that are going to go back to the resort and take a pool break or something in the middle. I mean, a pool break isn't 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It might take you that long just to get out of the park, and then, spend an hour in the pool or something like that. So I don't know. I don't think if I was vacationing that I would do the park hop. Now, there are family members that will come with us when we go to the park, and they have to get park hopper tickets because we will park hop. So, but as a first timer, I don't think I would have. Well, I know we didn't do it, so I don't think we would have done it.
Yeah. Let's see, in chat, Disney Dina says, I always find it odd that people at the ticket windows as we enter. Yes. Yeah. it's I don't know. Maybe you have to look at the people's circumstances. Maybe it could just be more of people that, I mean, there are people out there that don't own a credit card or things like that. So I guess that would be their only option, to show up at the park and maybe pay cash for tickets.
Yeah. If you can
Maybe
even do that at this point, it might not even take cash now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's jump to our final point here, and it is the fifth step, and it says plan your park days and book your dining reservations. You need to decide which park you want to visit on each day of your trip and what attractions, shows, and experiences you want to do there. You can use the Disney Genie, which we've covered in past podcasts, to help personalize your itinerary. And you can also make your dining reservations up to 60 days in advance for table service restaurants, character meals, and special events. You can use the My Disney Experience or website to reserve your stuff online. I love talking about this part when I'm teaching people Disney. My process, once again, is, or used to be, you got to figure out when you can go. When you decide when you can go for vacation, we always tried to go 10 days. So that's step one, figure out when you want to go. And of course, you can jump ahead, right? You can figure out when it's cheaper, and if you're able to accommodate that with lining it up with your vacation from work and all that. When all that's said and done, figure out next, the amount of days you're going. And from there, what would be my next step? My next step would be to figure out, okay, if I'm like 10 days, then my next step is, how many park days are we going to do? And you always want to at least do one complete resort day. I feel like you have to recover. We were always on the go, so I feel like one resort day full worked for us. So it was usually the middle of the vacation.
Right.
And then it wouldn't all be park days. Like maybe 7 of those would be park days. And we would use one we might even have done like a half-day resort and then go to Disney Springs.
Okay.
I think we did something like that too. So work that in. And once you have to lay out your park days next. When you lay out the park days, you know which parks will be in for those days. And then you can set up your dining, which is what I used to do. I'd be like, okay, September 28th, I am going to be in Magic Kingdom. We call up Disney. What do you have for dinner time for Crystal Palace? We've got $4.50, $6.50, $7.30. I'll take that $4.50. Okay, go down the list. I had them all written and ready to go right at that 60-day mark in the morning. You definitely want to jump on that as soon as you can, so you can get the best choice of dining. But through my experience of living here now, you can always try for dining that you want. So even me, if I decide right now, I want to go to Roundup Rodeo Barbecue next month on a Saturdays. So I start looking now, and I'll start looking every day. Whenever I think about it, I'll pop on the app, check. It's kind of a little bit of a game, let me see if I can find something. And it might not come up, but in the back of my mind, I'm really knowing that I could do nothing till that day, and I will find the best selection of options for times on that day, because people start to cancel. They have to back out. But one last thing about all that planning is, with the dining now, that changed, right? That changed. There's not you can't, cancel within an hour or two. It's more like 48 hours or 24.
It was, so it used to be 24 hours. And they changed it to 2 hours now. So you have up until 2 hours to cancel. And where that helps is everybody else who's looking for, I want something different, or I didn't get what I wanted for tonight. You can pop on the app tonight. It's 7:30 now. And you might find, one of the big ones for 8:30. You might get Crystal Palace for 8:30, or Liberty Tree Tavern for 9:00, because people have up until 2 hours before their time to cancel. So it's actually helped the rest of us find some of these harder to find reservation. So it's been pretty good. But don't forget to cancel because they will charge you $10 per person.
I had an incident, matter of fact, Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. We're driving on that Saturdays to the park, and I think I saw a reservation for a better time for us. So I went to reserve it, and it left me with 2. So it wouldn't let me cancel that other one because we were in that window. So I called Disney. You know, they kind of said in a nice way they don't have to do this, but they did it for me. They worked with me, and somehow we configured how I think I had to cancel one of the reservations, and they stood by and booked it for me. They're like, let me know when you release it. I'm like, released. And they're like, okay, we got it kind of thing. So they can still work with you, but you don't want to push it that close anymore. Samara in chat said, can guests carry snacks? Listen, Samara, we used to come to the park for a few years when we first lived here, just a vlogging channel. And I came with a full cooler ice pack of 8 drinks, subs from Publix. And yes, you can bring all of those goods to the parks. And you have to thank Disney for that, because they could easily say no food outside food allowed in the parks. They could easily do that. Makes you wonder why Disney allows it. I mean, is it simply a good faith thing? Like, hey, we know people can't, may not be able to afford coming and eating in the park, so you can bring things.
It could also be that if you are then not having to spend money on food, that you're spending money on merchandise,
which is more expensive.
Exactly.
You're in my brain. I was kind of thinking that as well. So that was good. I mean, did we leave anything out? We good to move on from that topic?
Yeah, no, I think that we hit most of the important parts. Certainly speak to a travel agent. We know a very good one, and she can certainly help you plan your trip. In fact, I just sent her a request form earlier today. So,
oh yay! Yay! Let's all book with Claudia. What's up, Lily's Life? All right, let's hit the character spotlight. All right. Tonight we are going to talk about that cuddly bear, Pooh. We're going to talk about Pooh Bear. I found some interesting facts about him, and I think it will be interesting. So if this is something a feature, you're listening to while you're out and about, you're not live, whatever, and you tend to fast forward, whatever, give Pooh a try tonight. I think we got some interesting things here. So here we go with Pooh. There he is up on screen. And who doesn't love Pooh Bear? We always felt like, Tammy and I always felt like from when we grew up as kids, and as well as with our kids, that like a little rite of passage for your children is they need their own Pooh Bear. So we made sure that we all had our own Pooh Bears. So as we know, Winnie the Pooh is a beloved character that has been around for almost a century. It's a long time. And so here are some lesser known facts about Pooh. This all started back in World War I, prompted by the move, or what prompted the move was inspired the 100-acre wood. Milne, M-I-L-N-E, served on the Western Front of World War I, getting injured in 1916 at the First Battle of Somme. Left shell-shocked after the war, he moved his family from the busy streets of London to a rural part of the country, according to Smithsonian Magazine. Near their home at Crotchford Farm, Milne and his son would frequently visit Ashdown Forest, usually with his toy bear in tow. And let's see. So Christopher Robin was a real boy. Milne had one child, and his son's name was Christopher Robin Milne. Though Christopher Robin went by the nickname Billy Moon, his father used his son's given name in his beloved Winnie the Pooh books. And yes, young Billy Moon had a stuffed bear he eventually named Winnie. More on that later. His father made up a story involving his favorite toy, and the rest is literacy history. Milne wasn't initially a children's author. Before penning the Winnie the Pooh books and prior to serving in World War I, Milne was a successful playwright, humorist, essayist, as well as an editor at Punch, a British humor and satire magazine. However, becoming a father, Milne turned his attention to writing for children. The real Winnie was a female bear. Bet you didn't know that. While the teddy bear was originally called Edward, Milne's son changed the name to Winnie after visiting the London Zoo and becoming infatuated with a black bear named Winnie, who he would feed spoonfuls of condensed milk. Unlike the character in the storybooks, the real Winnie was actually a female bear. She'd been brought to the zoo by a Canadian soldier named Harry Colburn, who named her Winnipeg after his hometown. That was when then it was then shortened to Winnie. How much have we learned already? Isn't that crazy?
What was his original name?
Original name was Winnipeg.
Wow.
Because that's where the Canadian soldier was born, his hometown. Called it Winnipeg, and it went short to Winnie. Jillian says she wants to watch Blood and Honey, the Winnie the Pooh horror film. What is the world coming to? Yeah. So let's see. Many of the characters are based off stuffed animals as well. After he received his teddy bear in 1921, Christopher was gifted more stuffed animals throughout the late 20s, including a stuffed pig, tiger, donkey, kangaroo, and a baby kangaroo. These toys became the inspiration for the characters Piglet, Tigger, Eeyore, Kanga, and Roo. The only characters not based on an original stuffed animal were Owl and Rabbit. The original stuffed animals can and will still be seen on display. Since 1987, Pooh and his friends Eeyore, Piglet, Kanga, and Tigger have all found a home at the New York Public Library's flagship Stephen A. Schwarzman building. Visitors from all over can go and see the original stuffed animals that inspired the beloved storybooks. That is Amaze-Diz.
Wow.
How about that? I just wanted to hit on one more thing. What about when Disney acquired Pooh? So Disney acquired the rights to Winnie the Pooh books and their characters from Milne's estate back in 1961. Since then, Disney has spun them into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Winnie the Pooh is, in fact, among the most valuable media franchises in the world, having accumulated revenues of more than $80 billion over the years, putting it neck and neck with Mickey Mouse. Wow. Estimates vary. Some believe that Disney currently generates annual revenue of between $3 billion and $6 billion from Pooh and Friends. However, this is the key thing. On January 1st, 2022, Winnie the Pooh, written by A.A. Milne and published in 1926, officially entered the public domain, which means that Disney no longer has exclusive rights to the material. This means that anyone can use the characters as they please without having to pay a fee. Other production companies could use these to make Winnie the Pooh movies or television series. So, the adorable one with the red t-shirt, that Pooh, and a rumbly in his tumbly will only belong to Disney for the time being. Disney created that version of Winnie the Pooh, as well as his friends Piglet, who originally wore green in the original story, but now he wears pink. So I guess Disney owns this particular Pooh still, but you can make Pooh content.
Right.
So that's it. That was a ton of stuff. I didn't know any of that. And I think it's pretty cool that you can literally go to New York and still see the original plushies, we'll call them.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So I hope chat enjoyed that. And that was the history of Pooh. It's time for the resorts. We're going to deep dive this week into, I'm going to tell you, when we were putting this together, there's so many great resorts in Walt Disney World. I just always think about this when I go back to it. I'm just going to declare Art of Animation my favorite resort on Disney property. I can make cases for a lot of them, but I just love it so much. It has everything I look for in a Disney resort, and it feels so Disney. And the grounds are so much fun. The grounds are so much fun to walk. It's almost like makes you think, what other resort is this much fun to walk around at night? There's so much to see.
Yeah, this one and Pop Century, which of course are right across the bridge from each other, and you'll hear why they're pretty similar. Really, for me, are the two that are probably the most fun. I thought All Star was, but that was the first place that we had stayed on property. But then after staying at Art of Animation, I was like, oh yeah, this is the one.
Yeah, I just love it. So let's get right into it. Okay, hold on.
All right.
I know what we got going on. I got you. Let's get into the map first. We'll get into the map first. And let's see. Here we go.
For our deep dive into Art of Animation, we need to go back, all the way back to 1900. No, the resort isn't 123 years old. Let me explain. Art of Animation wasn't intended to be Art of Animation at all. Remember back when we talked about Pop Century Resort? We talked about the buildings that were represented by the 50s through the 90s. So what happened to the rest of Pop Century? Well, Pop Century was supposed to represent all the decades in the century. The buildings that weren't built sit where Art of Animation currently is. Hourglass Lake, which obviously represents time, is under the Generation Gap Bridge. This bridge connects Pop Century and Art of Animation resorts. It would have connected the classic years and the legendary years. Pop Century opened with the classic years representing the latter half of the century. The first half of the century was to be built as a second phase. Work started on the massive Pop Century in 1999 and continued through 2001. With the attacks of 9/11, tourism slowed and the massive resort was no longer needed. But the outer structure of some of those legendary years were already standing. They sat empty and abandoned within view of Pop Century. Finally, in 2003, Pop Century opened and was a hit. In 2005, All Star opened, and with the family suites there as popular as they were, Disney decided they would build an all-suites resort. However, the 40s building was already done with standard rooms, as was the main hall. So the shell of those buildings were used, and in 2010, Art of Animation was announced to start taking reservations. Disney's Art of Animation Resort would open in phases. Animation Hall and the Finding Nemo section opened, followed by Cars. The Lion King section was next, and rounding out the completion of the resort was the Little Mermaid rooms. The resort shows the story of animation from early concepts to final product, from the check-in all the way to your room. The courtyard of each section put you right in the middle of the animated movie set, with larger-than-life set pieces that kids of all ages love to take pictures with. The rooms feature over-the-top decor and colors showing off the concepts of each of the movies represented. The suites give you a primary bedroom with its own bathroom. In the main living space, you'll find a Murphy bed like we've seen in other resorts that doubles as a dining table when closed. You'll also have a separate living room with very cute furniture. For example, in the Cars suite, you'll see diamond plate tables and lamps made of upside down traffic cones. You'll also get a larger beverage center than standard in most value resorts, as well as a microwave, coffee maker, and plenty of room to store all the snacks that you're going to take to the parks. The second bathroom is spacious for all the kids to share. You're never far away from one of the pools, splash areas, or playgrounds, as this resort has 3 pools, including the very famous Big Blue Pool. You'll also find an array of fun activities, including dance class, movies under the stars nightly, campfires, arts and crafts, and of course an arcade. Art of Animation Hall hosts the check-in, the gift shop, and the food hall. And throughout the resort, you can find 24-hour laundry. In addition to the family suites, having direct access to the Skyliner makes this resort very popular, as you get to soar above the rooftops and head to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, or visit one of the other Skyliner resorts. So, once you're walking through the courtyards and being fully immersed into your favorite Disney classic, you'll see why this resort should be on your list, because it's on mine.
I mean, you know, again, I mean, you just look at these pictures, you know, and I think that it has one of
Art of Animation. We need to go back, all the way back to 1900.
Oh, hold on. So I have to say, you know, looking at even this photo here of the gift shop, I think it's one of the greatest gift shops in all of Disney resorts. It's huge.
Yeah, it's again just the whole idea of art of animation and the story that it takes you through in the lobby and then into the food hall and certainly into the gift shop. It just the theming is just amazing.
It really is. Full of colors, all that great stuff. Jumping back quickly to the Big Blue Pool. Look at this thing. I could have stayed in there forever. And it's a party pool. You know, there's music playing. It does get busy in there, but love that pool. Can't wait for an opportunity to get back and chill out in that pool for sure. And right beside that is the drop off, which is, you know, a salute to Finding Nemo, and a little bar area where you can get a drink of your choice and hang out in this area. I think they have a light food menu. I could be wrong. If they do, I think it's really light. But just outside of these gates is the entire food court. So, you know, if you want to grab a burger or whatever you want to grab, you know, you can come right out and sit right there and eat it right there and just enjoy, you know, the sunshine, the shade, and all that. And that is the food court there. And I feel like this food court for a value resort has the best food options. There's a lot of healthier food options at this one than I think you'll find at the All-Stars and even Pop.
Yeah, this was a really good selection, good variety, certainly big enough to fit everybody. I think we had breakfast there a couple times. Of course, Finley wanted Mickey waffles, so we certainly hit that up quite a few times before our days out to the cold parks, because we were there this past Christmas and they actually had to close the pools for 2 days because it was so cold, which rarely happens because those pools are heated.
Right.
But yeah, it was freezing. In fact, my future sister-in-law had 4 pairs of pants on that day. So yeah,
4 pairs of pants.
Yeah, it was cold.
And again, the theming is great. This is just a resort, another one of those resorts. You just walk around with your camera and you want to take photos of all these areas.
Yeah.
Larger than life, you know, so many cars to see. We don't have pictured here for this one. We don't have, I mean, look how large. If anybody's never been to Art of Animation, if you're looking at this Little Mermaid photo. I mean, she's what, 1, 2, 3, 3.5 stories tall, at least, maybe. And there's a fence in front of her. Like your head might come up midway to where the rock is that she's sitting on, and that's it. So she's super huge, and so is everybody else. So really, really cool. Here's the lobby. The lobby is super colorful, and we're looking at one end of the wall. And when you're looking at that wall, as if you start way at the other end, when you first enter the main entrance, it starts off as pencil sketches. And then as you walk your way down the very long concierge area and check-in area desks, it all comes together and goes from concept art to like completed art. So cool. Yeah,
we talked about this just reminded me, we talked about whether to drive or fly, and this trip back in December was the one that made me think, yeah, maybe I don't want to drive anymore. Normally to get there it takes us about 8 hours, but with traffic and everything else going on, it took about 13 hours. I was done at that point.
Ann Gilnack says Disney's theming is perfection. Steve Bullock is pushing for a Lawrence emoji. Yes, and the gift shop is great. Jill says that yes, all of the art of animation is super cute. Jill's having fun in chat tonight. Thank you so much for being there, honey. I appreciate that. She's doing an amazing job in chat this evening. Catherine says it is a rainbow. That is a rainbow that goes along the wall there. Yeah. And Kathy has stayed in all of the suites. So Kathy's goal is to stay in every single resort in Disney in all their sections, and she's making really good gains on that. So kudos to her. So let's move into the next section. So what happened inside the parks this week? What happened? So I had to really think about this, but I always do because the days and the weeks just come together. I literally start by saying, where was I on Saturday? Which still blows my mind because, if you came on vacation to Disney or whatever, and it was a few days ago, you know exactly where you were.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, wait, where was I? Sometimes I think I was in Hollywood, but it's like, oh, no, wait a minute. I was in Epcot. That's where I was. And I have notes because I have to remember. I have to remind myself. I already forgot again. But it says I was in Hollywood Studios. So I don't think, and I always quiz you too, or anyone. I encourage anyone in chat to point out anything that happened on Saturdays at Hollywood Studios that's worth expanding on, or you had a question. Maybe you had a question about anything that went down during that live stream. To me, I feel like it was uneventful. I think it was eventful for everything we did. I think it was a smooth stream. I think we went from one ride to the next. I finally discovered maybe my stomach just expanded because when I get my favorite steak fries and buffalo chicken and cheese sandwich at the ABC commissary, which gets a Living in Diz gold star, I have to say, we love some other YouTube channels, and I love Out of Disneyland Ordinary Adventures. We absolutely love them. I would love to meet them. I'm sure we will at some point. And they do an Ordinary Adventures gold star. That's a 5 out of 5. And I wish we came up with that first. Living in Diz gold star. That would get the Living in Diz gold star. There you go, Dina. The blue milk. Let's talk about the blue milk first. So there's a new milk. Of course, we know there's a blue milk and a green milk. The blue milk, actually, they jazzed it up. You can get the normal classic blue milk, or you can get the blue milk with raspberry jam in it. It's kind of like they took it when you maybe get a smoothie, not a smoothie, but say you get a nice sweet drink that has like hot fudge in it. They'll take the cup and they'll swirl it in there so it all hits sides of hits the sides of the walls of the cup, and then they put the ingredients in. They did that with the raspberry jam, and they topped it with Nerds, I believe. I think it's Nerds. They called it cereal crunchies, but we all thought it was Nerds. I thought that was the best milk. like hands down, no decisions. And I'm one that favors the green milk over the blue, but I thought that the raspberry jam really brought something to that drink. Unfortunately, I don't think Disney will keep it. I feel like that is a limited item, as it is themed for the Young Jedi series. So,
and where was it? Was it at the regular stand?
At the regular stand. Yeah. So now Neil treated us to it. So I don't even know if the cost was different or if it was the same. I'd have to ask Neil that, but he's not in chat tonight, I don't think. But it was good, and I would get it again for sure. I mean, we're there. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way on Saturdays in 2 weeks, but if we're in Galaxy's Edge and we're around and it's hot, you know, I might say, let me grab another one of those milks. I probably will, because I'm afraid it is a limited time kind of thing. Dina says, I definitely want to try the new blue milk. I'm guessing it won't be there next year. Probably not. But if we talk about it enough, maybe. Listens to YouTube. Disney listens a lot. We got to give Disney credit. Disney listens. They do care about what the people think, whether they in favor of everything or things. It depends on what they what they think that comes down to it. But they do listen. They do care. So let's see. Grandma Grover said you did a great job streaming Fantasmic in spite of all the people standing in front of you. That's what I have on my notes here. So, and Anne says, I felt sorry for you at Fantasmic when the crowd was all in front of you and they stood up. If everyone just remained seated, everyone would have a perfect view. So, you know, this is a place where we can talk about things like this. So and we've talked, I think, to our Zoom callers about this kind of thing. So this is like behind the scenes kind of talk. When any of us, anyone that truly cares about their YouTube channel and they live stream from Disney, you want to create a positive environment. You don't want to sound like you're complaining too much about things, but it is live and things unfold.
Right.
You know, fight almost unfolded in front of us 2 weeks ago over there, you know, but there are things that happen, and you have legitimate gripes about it. But you have to be conscious that, you know, everyone's there to watch for enjoyment and getaway. And I think I'm getting better at trying to pull back from those things at times. But that was a bit of a frustrating thing. I mean, could we have solved it? Yeah, we could have gone earlier, but that takes away from our park night. So I think what it really boils down to is Disney needs a second show. They need a second show. And I think I take this away from it more than anything, because you've sat in those very black back bleacher rows too with us.
Yeah, I believe you named it the Lawrence section. Yes.
Yeah, the Lawrence section, only because we did it together that one time. So Brian and Iyad, welcome. So I think it's this. What I really observed was, and again, like Ann said, people started to stand up. And it's so annoying, you know, you're not going to, and where those people were, they didn't need to stand because nobody was in their way.
Right.
But you know what, maybe as I'm thinking out of it at the top of my head, maybe they were just trying to stand to get a better view of what's going on below, because we couldn't see it. And you guys, I held up that gimbal so high, you all were able to see most of it, more than what I could see. Which is the floats, you know, when the princesses are coming by, when the monkeys are coming by, those are the things that are hard to see. And that's why I think Disney needs a second show. You shouldn't even have that seating available for people, because what it's doing is it's taking away from the beauty of what you've created. You can't see that part.
Correct.
And, you know, to be honest, when I watch Fantasmic and I share it with everybody, I enjoy it 1000%. That night, 50%, maybe 60%. I had to try to enjoy it because you couldn't see at the bottom. And I've seen the show a million times, of course, but we're there. We want to enjoy and we want to see all that. Tammy loves seeing those monkeys, and she's like, I can't see them. You know, so it's taken away a third of the show. So again, probably comes down to cost, but at the same time, you got to do a second show. I like just showing up at a second show and you're guaranteed a good seat. It overflowed.
For
really
me, that was the thing, is that second show, you're pretty much walking in 5 minutes before showtime, and you're right there in front. Um, and you would think that seeing what's happening with when you're doing one show, and maybe if it's a Tuesday afternoon, or I mean a Tuesday evening, okay, maybe they don't get a second show. But a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, your busier days, or certainly holidays, I think they should look at that and do, you know, 2 shows that evening.
Yeah, let's at least compromise and do it that way. I'm up for that. Let's do some weekend shows, double
Yeah, that
shows,
might
you know?
might help. Might help.
I think it's warranted. Want to address the chat. Steve Bullock, thank you so much for those 5 gifts. He just dropped 5 random gifts. And for all those who are opted in, my friend Kathy was gifted. Catherine Lopez, Derek Slight, MT Pockets, Tink for Life Jones. Welcome to the Diz Club. So what that does is you get your name highlighted in green, so it's more easily seen in the chat. You get the badge next to your name. That badge will change throughout the months if you choose to continue on your own. And you get all those wonderful exclusive emojis that also include the newly added Mickey Pumpkin. And you can have fun with those. No one else can put those in chat if they are not a Diz Club member. And you have these perks for 30 days. And you also get your name listed starting on Saturdays this week. Your name will be in the credits at the end of the stream. So congratulations to all of you. And thank you so much to Steve for being so great to the family and the channel. We love you and Tony for sure. And if anyone that just got gifted, we hope that you enjoy that 30 days and you come back and rejoin at some tier. We'd love to have you in there to help support the channel, because so much goes back into this channel for sure. And I think it shows. So last night, what?
Disney Dina made a good point of, since they don't go as often as they like, they did the dining package, so that they knew they were going to get a good seat at the show. And maybe that's one of the ideas on why they don't do a second show, because then maybe they can sell more of the dining packages. I don't know.
Boom. I think you just hit it right there. That probably makes sense.
Yep.
And it's hard because you can't argue with business.
Exactly.
You got to put yourself in other people's shoes. And if you're running the show, you'd be like, yeah, we're not going to do that second show if we don't have to, because we can't sell dining packages. But I have a whole thing about those dining packages to begin with. You know, it's like the concerts. You know, we can't even get close up anymore because a lot of those sections have been taken up for dining packages over at Epcot at the American Pavilion. We hate that. But it does vary. The size varies on the level of crowd they think is going to show up. Yeah. So when you have like a Boys to Men, it's even more difficult to get into the front there. But we found our way to the front on the side, which is perfectly fine, which Tammy is willing to wait in line again for 2 hours. So I guarantee you all we're going to see Boys to Men front row once again. And will Tammy get her rose is the question. She says she better get her rose for sure. Let's hit up our sponsors quickly. And again, we touched on Claudia Inderson, who can certainly set you up for your next Disney vacation or even your first Disney vacation. And I have a special announcement in promo code, so don't go anywhere, for something happening at the end of the month, and actually happening on Saturdays as well for anyone that's local or happen to be in town for that time. So with over a decade of helping people find the home of their dreams, Victor Naraki is the perfect realtor of Vision Home Real Estate LLC. To help you find the home of your dreams, simply go to DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. That's DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. And Victor's trying to increase his YouTube numbers. And if he gets up to 10,000 subscribers, he will hand over $1,000 to give kids the world. You can also contact him at celebratingflorida@gmail.com. Victor is the guy. Victor knows his stuff. So definitely check him out if you're even thinking about moving towards or near the magic. I mean, look at those beautiful homes where you can just step out and just see Disney fireworks from your backyard. He does it. So also, if you're also starting to plan or think about planning your next vacation, book your next vacation with Your Magical Adventures Await. Claudia is creating Disney adventures worldwide. She can create a magical adventure to Walt Disney World, Florida, any Disney park worldwide, Disney Cruise Lines, Alani Resort in Hawaii, guided group vacations with Adventures by Disney, and she's also a Universal Studios expert. If you book with her, her services are free. Disney takes care of her so she can take care of you. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Let's get that off there. So make Claudia your magical adventures await your planner today. That doesn't want to die, does it? There we go. Get off there.
It knows that Victor's in the chat, so it keeps popping up.
Nice, Victor. Did you hear that promo? Always working hard for Victor. Victor deserves it. Let's buy some homes from Victor, everybody. And Claudia would love it if you would join her Instagram. It's a fun watch. She's always on an adventure. I'm always shaking my head because she's always lounging on that little yacht of hers and just cruising along the Texas oceans, the lakes of Texas. So yeah, for sure. Check that out. And did we touch everything? Last night I tried to look for the princesses. We went on a little princess hunt around 10:15 at night, and the princesses didn't seem to come out unless we just missed them after we left. But we did
and
the
they
fireworks.
Weren't out during the fireworks like they were the previous week, which was really nice.
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing. I tried to capture that again. The time changed, and happily ever after went from 9:20 to 9. And I don't know if that affects, the princesses.
Maybe.
Maybe they're skewing it a little more towards the after hours crowd, or not the after hours crowd, but the deluxe resort people.
Deluxe, extended evening. Yeah.
Maybe, could be. I'm trying to think though. Anything else happen? I felt like there was one thing to touch on from last night, but had a good time, and we tried a challenge. It failed. I thought we could maybe do 3 rides, Mine Train, Pirates, and People Mover, but we got held up enough in Mine Train where it didn't really work. So yeah,
I think you would have made it if not for Mine Train.
I think so too. It slowed us up. So there you go. I think we got a full show.
The show is always like a Disney vacation. It comes so quickly, and then it's over, and you got to wait a whole week for the next one.
Absolutely. Love you all in chat. Thank you so much for joining us live. We'll be back live here for the podcast next Thursdays at 7 p.m. And y'all have a wonderful night. If you're listening on the replay, thank you so much for watching on the replay, whether you're mowing your lawn or sitting on your patio, sipping a martini, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for listening or watching. We love you all. We'll be live from Disney Parks this Saturdays at at Magic Kingdom.
Nice.
Yeah. And just doing Magic Kingdom things, So we'll find a snack maybe. And oh, yes, that's right. I got to show my t-shirt. Thank you, Anne. We tend to neglect that. And I think it's a repeat. It's a repeat from a week or two ago. But this is what I had on, so I went with it. It's my all Walt Disney shirt. So look at this.
There you go.
Yeah, it's got drawings of basically everything in all the parks. And on the back, you really can't see it, but it lists most of the rides because it's a little outdated now.
Mm-hmm.
So it lists the dates.
Oh, and it has the dates that they open the ride.
Yeah, and the dates that the rides opened. This shirt is popular, and I saw plenty of people wearing it last night, and they still sell it. So I'd love an updated one. You know what? I was going to say I should look on the back of it and see if they've put Guardians on there and Tron. That would be very interesting. But I think they would change the front if they were going to go through that Tron.
Probably.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Thank you once again, Steve Bullock, for dropping those gifts. We appreciate that. Like Steve said last night, we got to bump up those memberships. So we really, really appreciate that. We appreciate everyone, the Ninja Watchers and everyone. That's the shirt I wear under my scrubs quite often. That's right, Will. That is right. Little outdated sounds like me, says Theo. We love you too, Theo. All right, everyone. Have a great few days coming up, and we can't wait to be live in 2 days at Hollywood Studios with all of you. So Yeah, we're the Park Bros from the Diz Pod, and we got to get Neil on really soon. Neil, when are you coming?
And right. Victor.
And Victor. Victor's willing to come anytime, so we'll do it soon.
All right.
See y'all next week on the Diz Pod. We're back, but we're not.